Hi, I read somewhere today that it was the anniversary today of the release of one of Steely Dan's early albums. Now I thought it was Can't Buy a Thrill, but I've just looked it up and I don't think it wasn't then. So whatever I saw online that randomly popped up at me was maybe not right. But anyway, it made me think, oh yeah, Steely Dan. Haven't talked about any of their stuff really, don't think. So just wanted to do a spontaneous video talking about Steely Dan. One thing in particular that I really like that they have definitely used, this is a chord thing. Now there's other people who have used this as well, but I can just think of some things sometimes where Steely Dan used it. And it's a brilliant little chord trick if you're writing. And what it is if you've got a major chord, let's say you've got an A, what Steely Dan would sometimes do is put the fourth in the bass. So if you know anything about playing bass, the fourth of a chord is not really a note that, the fourth of a key, it's not really a note that you tend to use in the bass. You might use the root note of the chord, or possibly the fifth, or maybe the third. Probably not anything else though. And if you play a straight major chord, there isn't a fourth in there. So it's just got root, third and fifth in this chord. In that example, that's an A, a C sharp and an E. Hopefully you understand a bit about basic kind of music theory and chord theory for this. If you don't, say in the comments, I'll do another video explaining this in a bit more sort of detail and simpler terms. So that A chord contains a root, a third and a fifth, more than one of some of them, that's why there's 6 strings involved, but only 3 different notes, root, third and fifth, A, C sharp, E. And the fourth of an A is a D. That means if I go up an A scale, A major scale, the fourth note is a D. So what Steely Dan would do is they'd have the bass player hit a fourth, a D, when they're playing an A chord. And if I just play the A chord with the A bass note, as I normally would, it sounds like this. If I change the shape slightly so that D becomes the lowest note here, so I'll keep the top 4 notes that I had, but make D the lowest, I get this. Now that chord could be given a different name, a different identity. It could be a D major 9. If we decide that is a D chord, then it's a D major 9. If we decide it's an A chord, then it's an A over D, which means an A chord that's got a D in the bass. And I think the way, obviously it's a little bit open to interpretation when you listen to it, but what I've heard Steely Dan do, I would say is an A over D as opposed to a D major 9. Quick example then, if I keep that A chord, I'll do an A to a B like this with their standard root note bass notes. Sounds like this. And now if I put the fourth in the bass of each one, it'd be this. With this one, the fourth is an E, so I could actually hit the low E. And I quite like that. I think it's really effective. Obviously I'm just playing on a guitar. It works even better if you've got a bass player hitting those notes, in which case you wouldn't need to change your left hand on the guitar. You could just play the chord as an A, get the bass player to hit a D, and you'll get that effect. And I just quite like that, so I thought I'd come on here and talk about it. There's loads and loads of other things I could talk about with where Steely Dan are concerned, and I could go on for hours and days about it. And there's a lot of things about their music that I don't understand and probably wouldn't be able to explain. But yeah, if you're not that familiar with Steely Dan, then obviously check them out, but I'm sure you probably are. But that's a cool little thing, and if you're a writer, that is really effective. Something else you could do I could do just to illustrate this a bit more, I could take those same 2 chords, A to B, play them twice, but the second time put the altered bass note in. So it sounds like this. And I'm sure I've heard Steely Dan do things like that. I should have been prepared and got some examples from real songs, but I'm not, and I haven't. But yeah, if you can think of any, then please put them in the comments. And if you'd like me to tell you some examples of where this happens, then put that in the comments as well, and I'll have a listen and find some. So yeah, just a quick one today. I hope that all makes sense. Any questions, please ask, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.